Pickles and Sickos unite for a Jalen Green edition, a PHNX Suns post-game show presented by Bet365. Download Bet365 app, use code PHNX365, deposit 10, place a bet for 5 and get $200 in bonus bets. Oh, that felt so good. The Phoenix Suns take out the Los Angeles Clippers 115-102 in Jalen Green's Phoenix Suns debut. I'm Erik. That's Espo. We got the freckled mamba behind the Mac making all the magic happen. Steven will call us in from the morgue. But Espo, I feel so alive.
The Phoenix Suns are back. Suck it, Bradley Beal. Suck it, Steve Ballmer. Suck it, Trees. I had to go at Trees, because of the whole Kawhi thing. Jalen Green is here, ladies and gentlemen. He has arrived. That was some of the most fun basketball we have had in a very long time. One of the best debuts we have seen in Suns history. And you saw exactly how Jordan Knott envisioned this offense and exactly how this team can play when it's at full strength. But wait, they're not at full strength yet.
No, they aren't.
They still have Dillon Brooks to come back. That was a fun game, and they get to do it again on Saturday against the same Clippers team. Can't wait to watch it.
A literal record-breaking performance from Jalen Green. I'd like to break some records tonight. How about we break that like button? How about we hit it so many times that we get a call from Mr. YouTube himself that says, what are you doing? How does the like button get hit that many times? Make sure you subscribe as well. Make sure you are a member. Like so many members in the chat, you not only get a green name and a badge next to it, you get a prepaid super chat every single month, plus access to exclusive emojis and exclusive content, all for just $5 a month. Big shout out to everybody who's joining us here in the chat. The vibes are extraordinarily high. I can't imagine they could be higher right now.
I don't think so. And hit that like button like a Lakers fan insulted you. Like, hit it that hard, all right? Go hit that like goal. We got to get to that 200, and let's do it faster than the Suns. Hit those shots tonight, and Jalen Green ingratiated himself to the Valley. That was... I don't think I've felt this good in a long time about watching a Suns game. There's been some fun wins this year, but there was something about the energy. Jalen Green, I think in one game, has already made a bunch of fans. Just in the way he played, his energy, the smile, the passion that he came out with. There are a lot of people in Houston that were telling us about this kid and how much we'd like him, how much we'd enjoy it. Tonight, I think, was the first of many games that we're going to feel very good about Jalen Green.
It took Jalen Green one game to have a better performance than Bradley Beal in his entire tenure on the Phoenix Suns. Yeah. And I know it kind of feels like kicking a man when he's down because, my Lord, Bradley Beal is down. But Bradley Beal had two years. Now, he was injured, but he had 2 years worth of games to do something like that, to make us feel something like that. And it wasn't just the fact that Jalen Green played well tonight, Espo. It was the fact that almost everybody played well tonight. When they came out in that second half on fire and just went on a crazy run, I don't care that the Clippers were down James Harden. I don't care that they were down Kawhi. The Phoenix Suns did what they needed to do in this game. They played the opponent that was in front of them, and everybody played well. Minus, I know some people want to get negative in the chat, but this was a game where it felt like this team was complete, and you're right, they're not yet. The fact that there's another level that they can hit is just as tantalizing as what we saw on the court tonight.
Well, I mean, there's a multiple other levels because that first half, you could tell they were trying to adjust to new lineups and new rotations, playing alongside guys. Jalen Green found Mark Williams a few times for some easy looks, and he wasn't quite prepared for it. There were little things. Third quarter, they come out, and it starts to gel. You see that Ott made some changes in that halftime conversation, and you started to see that potential. They go on a huge, at one point, I believe it was 28-6 run. They had a 12-0 run as part of that in the third quarter, and you went, okay, I understand what Jordan Knott was thinking with this offense now that you have one of the main horses back. Like, it was fantastic to watch and to think about where it could go from here. Now, it's not going to be a straight line. I still think there'll be some speed bumps along the way, but you look at it and you go, wow, that was explosive. And that's what this team can do. And that was without having it all together on the defensive end tonight too.
Yeah, I definitely think that there are some things the Suns needed to clean up specifically from the first half. Before we get to that and before we name our dude of the night, let's get to a couple super chats here really quickly. Lonnie, 199 super chat says, Booker, Green, and no Coach Dud. I love it. Yeah, I think the coach part of it is a really big factor. We mentioned when this team didn't have Jalen Green for the entire season that Jordan Knott spent an entire offseason tailoring an offense and a defense
100%.
around having Jalen Green. And it made sense tonight. And we'll get into how that looked, but the variety of shots that Jalen Green had, the impact he had in just 23 minutes tonight, it was all intentional. He didn't look like he was just out there saying, Jalen Green, go make something happen. It looked like the Phoenix Suns were working together, and Jalen Green was just the one who was able to take advantage of it.
Oh, it's part of the system. And
the plan?
I mean, the plan, whatever you want to call it. That was Jordan Knott's offensive system working the way he envisioned it. And it wasn't just Jalen Green and all of a sudden Devin Booker disappeared. No, this was both of them playing off each other. This was a dynamic backcourt showing you how it could work. A lot of people wondered, well, how can these two work? You saw it. Now, will Jalen Green always hit 50% of his three-pointers? Probably not. I would take a guess that no. But when it is going at that level, the way both of those guys were working tonight, it's going to be tough for any defense to stop how dynamic that offense can be. And that is a huge testament to Jordan Knott, because you could have put a Jalen Green, a 23-year-old athletic freak like that, out on the court under, Coach Bud last year with no system, and it wouldn't have looked like that.
Yeah.
Simply because you weren't setting guys up. There's a lot of standing around one-on-one basketball. This is team-oriented, and it showed every step of the way. Even when, and you brought this up on the watch-along, the execution wasn't perfect. They got good looks. They found each other. It was a very nice night.
I want to be careful with what I say next because it's going to sound bad, but Jalen Green was kind of in that situation last year. I mean, Ime Udoka is a fantastic coach, a much better coach than Mike Budenholzer.
I agree.
But offensively, the Houston Rockets were the worst ball movement team in the National Basketball Association, and it was a lot of, damn, go do it then for Jalen Green.
Well, and he didn't have shooters around.
No, he had no shooters, no spacing, which he had in the starting lineup tonight when Ryan Dunn didn't start.
Yeah, I mean, and so now that he has a supporting cast around him, and he's number 2 offensive option. Let's remember that. Devin Booker is still option number 1. So, that's going to make things very dynamic. He did not have a running mate last year. To your point, he was basically told, go out there and do it. Now he's working with a coach that's trying to utilize his strengths and to perfection, with Devin Booker playing alongside him as a number 1 option and a bunch of shooters. All of a sudden, it opens up a lot.
Another super chat. This one from my dad. 199 super chat says, just paying for the good vibes. Hit that like button. That's right, Dad. You tell him. And Humble Rumble with a $2 super chat says, Jalen Green and Devin Booker equals fire.
This is true.
It does equal fire.
The Ott couple getting it done.
The Ott couple getting it done, but let's focus on the man of the hour. Let's name our dude of the night, presented by Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. No surprise here. It is Jalen Green in just 23 minutes tonight. Less minutes than Ryan Dunn. Less minutes than Colin Gillespie, and less minutes than everybody else in the starting lineup. Jalen Green had 29 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 10 of 20 from the field, 6 of 13 from deep, which is a franchise record for makes from deep in a Suns debut, 3 of 5 from the line, and Espo, the most important stat of them all, a plus 30 in 23 minutes
tonight
for Jalen Green.
Tonight it actually shows you the impact of a player. Congratulations. The plus minus got it right, finally. But Jalen Green's impact was unbelievable and undeniable. 46% from deep, 50% on the floor, like you said. Surprisingly, free throws was the only thing that you could knock about. He was 60%, 3 of 5. Overall,
but he got to the line?
He did, and that's part of what's going to be important with him. You look at it, and I don't think you could have scripted a better debut than this. This is exactly what we wanted to see. Showed almost every facet of his game. He didn't have a dunk, but he did have that impressively athletic layup that he had, where he kind of bounced around Zubac, I believe it was. So overall, I am very, very excited for what we saw from this young man.
Absolutely. Look, Jaylen Green's going to have games where he shoots poorly from the field. It's going to happen. A lot of guys just have that happen, and the way that he plays the game, it's going to lend itself to that. What I was really impressed with, I think, tonight was the decision-making from Jaylen Green. I did not once sit back and go, that was a bad decision. I think the only play that I looked back on and I wasn't thrilled with how it went down was what you alluded to that we talked about on the watch-along, where there was execution. I think it was third quarter-ish. It was the Grayson Allen buzzer-beating corner three in the end of the third quarter. Jaylen Green has the ball at the top of the key. He's getting double teamed. He's getting attention. He's a little late. Royce O'Neal's wide open on the left wing, right wide open. Jaylen Green a little late to give him the ball. A little bit of not a lazy pass, but a soft pass. Royce O'Neal, the attention gets back to it, swings back to Devin Booker, who's cutting in. Now, there's a lot that's crowded in there. There's three guys out there from the corner to the top of the key in Green, Booker, Grayson. That's way too crowded for what you want your offense. There's a lot of Clippers' attention there. But just off of gravity alone, they can't leave Jaylen Green. Devin Booker drives in, brings two there. Who's wide open in the corner? On a broken play where it started off with, I think, a late pass from Jaylen Green, it's Grayson Allen in the corner, the best three-point shooter. The offensive gravity of this team and the offensive gravity of the starting lineup, bless you.
Thank you.
The offensive gravity of the starting lineup blessed me, right? Because Devin Booker and Jaylen Green alone playing off of each other in space is unlike anything Jaylen Green has ever dealt with, right? As far as the offensive talent on the court with just one player. Now, Ryan Dunn didn't start tonight, which is a conversation that we can have for later. But Grayson Allen's one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Royce O'Neal has been one of the best three-point shooters in the league. And as far as spacing goes, you got to talk about vertical spacing. Mark Williams is the best vertical spacer Jaylen Green has ever played with at the center position. That is an embarrassment of riches in that lineup alone for a guy like Jaylen Green, who is 23 years old and showed today that he can pick his spots damn near perfectly. When he needed to hit the mid-range shot, Espo, he went to the midi. When he needed to take a tough step back three, he did. When he needed to take a catch and shoot off of somebody else's gravity, he did. When he needed to dump off a pass to Mark Williams, he did. I can't look at any part of this game from Jaylen tonight and say, ooh, one of the things I was concerned about, that showed. Everything was clicking.
No, I mean, certainly tonight he lived up and lived beyond what the expectations were, right? But, he is a career 34% three-point shooter. So, 46% tonight was great, right? And that's a big deal. I level set, though. Let's realize tonight, if he continues to shoot like that because he got open looks because of the offense, this is going to be otherworldly. This is going to take him to new heights in his career. I hope this is what we can expect. But unbelievable first night, and we're going to see how it continues to progress along the way. But your point, having an embarrassment of riches around him, I think will make it a lot easier to hit those shots because you're not going to get blitzed and with double teams and everything.
I've got more thoughts on that. We'll still get to our blue-collar boy of the night. We'll look at the numbers. You can read my mind. I needed my water.
That's what a good teammate does.
Yeah, there we go. I bless you. You give me my water.
Look at that.
Devin Booker and Jaylen Green, but on the mic, ladies and gentlemen. What else could we be doing here on PHNX Suns? Presented by Bet365. We are going to keep it rolling, talking Jaylen Green and so much more, and we're going to do it after our first break. Look, money is not a fun thing to talk about most of the time. In fact, money can be one of the biggest stressors on a relationship, and money can just be one of the biggest stressors ever. And that's why you need to get Monarch. I'm going to keep it simple. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the crack. Use code PHNX at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. But what are you getting half off for? Well, guess what? It's just about everything that you could want and need in a system to keep track of your spending and your finances, all of your investments, 401k, every single payment that you have. It literally keeps it all in one upfront location. And for my couples out there, it was named Forbes' best app for couples. It was named the Best Budgeting App of 2025 by the Wall Street Journal, and named CNBC's top fintech company in the world with a passionate Reddit community of over 34,000 users that shape how the product is developed. So once again, don't let financial opportunity slip through the crack with Monarch. Use code PHNX at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code PHNX.
Pretty impressive when a money app can be voted the #1 app for couples. I'll say that. Look, at the best place for couples to go have a good weekend
I'm gonna leave.
is at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you, or go as a couple to Gila River Resorts and Casinos because no one does it better. Visit any of their 4 locations. We're talking Wild Horse Pass, Lone Butte, Vicuiva, and Santan Mountain to experience the best that the Valley has to offer. You can lounge at their AAA 4-diamond resorts and let relaxation take charge with unbeatable desert mountain views. It is beautiful out there. Go all in with over 4,500 slots and live table games, or catch all the action at any of their sports books. You go big and go home a winner. From upscale to approachable, casual to classy, from bar to bar none, their selection of dining options is always in good taste. And if anybody knows about dining, it's this guy, all right? You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more info.
Shout out to Austin, Hefe, Deborah, Ben, Kev, Sean, Optical Illusion, Curly Bananas, who thinks you're a cutie, Ruben, Eric,
Curly.
but spells it slightly wrong, Meatloaf, Chunky, T, Killa Perns, Aiden, Jeff. We appreciate all of you hanging out with us here on a Thursday night as Jalen Green broke the Suns franchise records for makes from deep. And man, just made us feel good. Here's the thing that I kind of want to continue to harp on with Jalen Green. Like you mentioned, will he shoot 50% from the field and 46% from deep for the season? I hope so.
Yeah, it'd be great.
But realistically,
we're talking
no.
about a much different, higher ceiling than we thought.
Realistically, no.
No.
What was the biggest thing for me tonight that made this game feel different from a Jalen Green perspective was when Devin Booker was off the court.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time where the Suns were kind of lacking a little bit and they needed a little bit of juice. Who came in? Jalen Green came in. And he just provides a spark, an energy, that athleticism. Even if he's not making shots, he's still going to have that gravity. To be able to have an elite shot creator on the floor at all times, because Jalen only played 23 minutes tonight. Realistically, he'll be playing in the mid-30s most nights.
You'd hope, yeah.
To have that kind of player on the floor at all times makes life so much easier for everybody else. And while we didn't have a great offensive showing from Colin Gillespie tonight, while we didn't have a great offensive showing really by anybody off the bench except for Ryan Dunn, I think you saw it in the starting lineup. Anytime you are playing with an elite shot creator, your life gets easier. The Suns, in theory, will now have an elite shot creator on the floor every single minute of every single game.
Yeah.
That is massive.
Well, yeah, you stagger it where when Book comes off at the beginning of that second quarter, you're going to have Jalen out there. The beginning of that fourth quarter, which we saw tonight, we were wondering if Ott would go with that, and he did, where Jalen's out there to start the fourth when Book goes to the bench. These were the places where the Suns would fall back, where they would lose ground, or a lead would go from 5 or 10 for an opponent to 15 or 20. I mean, the swing was plus 20 when Book was on the court prior to this. This changes the dynamics, and that is a good thing for Devin Booker. It's a good thing for the Suns, and it's good for Jalen Green because he's going to have his opportunities to be the man at times out there, and then have his opportunity to play alongside Devin Booker as well.
Well, and let's talk about him playing alongside Devin Booker. I thought that they worked really well together. It didn't feel like a your turn, my turn thing. It didn't feel like they stepped on each other's game at all. And if you think about it, right, the way that they play basketball, it is so different, even though they're both elite shot creators. Book is a little bit more methodical, can definitely lean into passing a little bit more than Jalen Green, and is certainly a better passer than Jalen Green. Green is just a gunner. Right? Yep. And I don't think either of them can lean too far in one of those directions. Like Jalen Green still had some great passes tonight, and Book, of course, still took 22 shots tonight, which you loved. Their synergy, you saw them chopping it up on the bench afterwards. You saw the Suns team as a whole show a whole lot of chemistry and synergy together. I think that, especially for a team that's only a couple weeks into the season, for the first game they played together, we thought maybe it might be a little clunky. Espo, tonight felt anything but clunky, specifically between Devin Booker and Jalen Green.
Yeah, it felt like a culture builder kind of night. That first step in these guys meshing together on the court and off the court. We saw him talking on the bench. I said this to you during the watch along, and I firmly believe it. I think Jaylen Green is going to unlock Devin Booker to have a multiple triple doubles this year. I mean, you look at what he did tonight, and somebody in the chat, forgive me, I don't remember who, said that they thought it was an underrated night for Book, and I agree. 24 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 steals. I'm telling you, this kid, this guy is going to have a triple-double thanks to the kid running alongside of him, because he doesn't have to be Mr. Everything in terms of scoring. He can be the guy that does a little of everything. And on the defense, even tonight, he did that. This is going to go a long way for Devin Booker to have a backcourt mate like this. He's never had a guy quite this dynamic in the backcourt with him. It's going to be fun to watch. And for all the hand-wringing and worrying and, oh, my God, who the hell's the point guard? Half the time, neither of those guys initiated the offense and brought up the ball. They were part of the motion and the sets that they ran to get them the ball, but this offense isn't built like the typical offense that you'd seen over the past few years, where somebody's got to dribble the ball, the air out of the ball to get it up, and then work your way into a system. This is fast-paced, and there's multiple ways to initiate that attack, and I think that's going to be huge, and that chemistry between Booker and Green will just continue to grow. Yeah,
I mean, you can still see them getting better, and again, Jalen had a great night scoring tonight, 29 points in 23 minutes. Imagine what he could do in 30 and 35 minutes, obviously. But there will be nights where that falls down. Well, guess what? Devin Booker only had 24 points in 37 minutes tonight. What have we seen from Devin Booker this entire season? He can average 30, right? So if they need to decide, okay, Jalen's having an off night, Book is experienced enough and seasoned enough to know, okay, it's maybe my night even if he is on, but it's especially my night right now, or it'll be my night for a bit until I can get him in rhythm. That is where all the years of Devin Booker having to play on a position, all the years of Devin Booker playing alongside other great talent can come into play right now, but alongside a type of talent he's never had before. Look, Jaylen Green is not as good of a basketball player as Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is a great scorer. Kevin Durant is a better defender. Kevin Durant, positionally, you would think fits better alongside Devin Booker than Jaylen Green. Different kind of guy. But when it comes to the backcourt mates that Devin Booker has had and all the other co-stars that Devin Booker has had, clearly Chris Paul in the 21 finals run, if we had to project, better player, right? But when it came to quick twitch, athleticism, downhill scoring, gravity in that sense, the willingness to shoot the three, which is something that Chris Paul has gotten better at later in his career, but it was never, just a sniper from deep on volume, but he was on efficiency purposes. That is a type of player that a superstar benefits playing next to. And the Houston Rockets did not have a superstar to play next to Jaylen Green. Alperen Şengün might be that this year, and he was close to it last year, but it wasn't the same. This is going to be a mutually beneficial relationship, and it's going to be a relationship that I feel like over the course of the season is going to save both of them a lot of energy. And if they can find ways to expel that energy in bursts and in periods of time where we saw Book get a magnet ball at the beginning of the game, right? Because Jalen was hitting some shots, got some attention off of Book, boom. Book now hitting his shots, and then Jalen goes to the bench. If we can see that over 82 games, that's going to be great for like the long-term preservation of both of these guys, especially like you mentioned when other guys are initiating offense. And Coach Ott understands that you can't just have the ball in those two guys' hand the entire time.
No, and yeah, I think it's Jaylen Green's energy too. It's not just that they can save energy because of the two. I think Jaylen Green is the kind of guy that just creates energy with his teammates. The things he does, his infectious approach to the game, the plays that he makes, I think actually teammates will feed off of, and Devin Booker in particular, because I think Devin Booker is a very empathic basketball player, and I mean that in a very positive way where he can very much feed off a teammate and basically be fueled off of just that. And Jaylen Green brings it. It reminds me of a lot of that 2021 group, that finals run, where they all had that youthful exuberance, that energy, that joy. And Jaylen feels like he's that times 10 with the way you watch him play, that smile, the energy, the fire. We showed it at the top of the show, him hitting that three and screaming, I'm back, and playing to the crowd. Like, that's something that can snowball. That can give a team an identity, a swagger, and an energy that we already felt like they were kind of developing that, but this could take it to another step.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it with Dillon Brooks for the first couple games of the season. And again, those two guys haven't played a game together, and that's realistically the guy that Jalen Green has the most synergy with because they've actually played together before. All in all, from the top guys, just a wonderful game, but we got to give love to some of the other guys as well. I think we got to name our blue-collar boy of the night. Just somebody who, in my money, had been the Suns' second-best player so far this season coming into tonight. It is Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen, 18 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, and a block, 7 of 13 from the field, 4-9 from deep, a plus 22 on the night, including a buzzer-beating 3 at the end of the third quarter. Grayson Allen has been a revelation this year. On the offensive end, on the defensive end, his energy, his hustle, his passing, his driving. Espo, he's the best knockdown three-point shooter on this team, but I think his true value has come in everything else that he has done. I know that there's definitely a chance the Suns could trade him this year, but the way that he is playing and the contract that he is on, I want him to stay in Phoenix for the long run.
Look, I don't think that they're going to look to move him as long as they are within shouting distance of the play-in or the playoff, because he does embody a lot of what they've talked about, and it's him, it's Dillon Brooks that kind of bring that edge. And what Grayson has been able to do, not just in the shooting like you were saying, but defensively, I've been thoroughly impressed. I mean, This is a guy that's blocking shots, and getting steals, 3 steals, a block tonight. Like, we didn't quite see that last year, whether it was because of the muscle he put on, whatever the factor. But Brian Gregory had told us, I'm going to be kind. I don't fat shame anybody because I have no business fat shaming anybody. But I go back to Brian Gregory telling all of us at Media Day, Grayson Allen is primed to have the best year of his career, a big jump, I believe is the way he said it. And he's done
He nailed
just
it.
that. I mean, that Grayson's defense, these blocks, just the energy, he's feeding off so much. And I think he's another guy that's actually going to really benefit from Jalen Green being there, because it's again, less he has to carry, but easier shots he's going to get.
Do you think that the starting lineup we saw tonight, minus Royce O'Neal for Dillon Brooks, is the starting lineup that we will see on most nights for the Phoenix Suns?
I think it's going to be matchup dependent.
So
I think
let's
Jordan
say
Knott
this
will
Saturday.
matchup depend.
Okay, let's say this Saturday, we know Dillon Brooks will start if Dillon Brooks is there, but we don't think he'll be back. At least I don't on Saturday. Harden and Kawhi are back. What's your starting lineup?
I think you put Ryan Dunn back in
For
there.
the point of attack
Probably,
defense.
but maybe in place of Royce and not in place of Grayson.
Interesting. Yeah.
I just, at some point you're going to hit a matchup where you're going to have too much size to go against to run that small lineup, unless you believe that much that your offense can outduel the other team, even giving up the size. I don't think that they're going to want to do that on a regular basis. I think it's going to be matchup dependent and very strategic from Jordan Knott. And I think tonight was how do we get this offense going against a Clippers team that's wounded, if you will, playing a little bit smaller than they usually would. And it worked, at least when it came to that third quarter and you started blowing the doors off of them. It made a lot of sense. But I think there'll be nights where Ryan Dunn has to be out there from a defensive perspective.
I agree. And Ryan Dunn still got minutes tonight. He still played 25 off of the bench, had some great plays. We'll get to those plays. We'll look at the numbers. We're going to do a lot here on PHNX Suns. We're still going to hear from Steven and presumably have some sound from the post-game press conferences. We'll get into all of that after our second break. Word on the street is that it was electric at the Morg tonight. You might want to be there next time. And if you are looking on getting any sort of tickets, but let's say specifically Suns tickets, check out Game Time. I'll tell you this, I got a notification from Game Time and said Suns versus Pelicans tickets starting at $4. $4. I can't remember the last time I saw Suns tickets for $4. And if you liked what you saw tonight, you could see it for $4, but only over at Game Time.
You gotta go watch the Pelicans too.
That's fair, but that's okay. Watch Jordan Poole take BS shots at Game Time. They're going to give you not BS prices. In fact, they guarantee that you'll get the lowest price on Game Time, or they'll credit you 110% of the difference. Plus, you get a view from your seat, upfront priority fee pricing, knowing exactly what you're going to pay before you hit that checkout button, so there are no surprises. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, create an account, redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today.
Me love Rally House. Go-to shop for all favorite local Arizona team gear. I know, Nookie. It is unbelievable when you go to Rally House. They have all your teams that you need. And they've got great locations. Oh, me love Tempe, Mesa, Glendale. I go to all locations. I know you do, and it's fantastic. And if you haven't checked out Rally House for game day needs, they've got hats, jerseys, the best selection of drinkware, signage, coolers, socks. Do they have sunscreen? Yeah, even sunscreen, Nookie. Whatever you're looking for your game day, shop at Rally House. They carry only Arizona sports teams and all the best gear. So every time you visit a Rally House, you're guaranteed to find something new, unique, and that matches your game day vibe. Oh, that's amazing. Yes, it is, Nookie. You can find it at your Valley Rally House location. Shop the entire product assortment online at rallyhouse.com today. And I realize that on audio, that probably sounds great. And on video, I look insane.
Well, you'd be insane if you didn't hit that like button, if you didn't hit that subscribe button. And remember, we are doing pre- and post-game shows for every single Suns game this season. And tomorrow, we'll have a 3 p.m. live show. It'll be the three of us, me, you, and Steven, breaking down what we saw from Jalen Green's debut. Once we had another night to dive in. Actually, I don't know if Ayrton will be here. Ayrton might abandon us. I heard that he's going to go and try to throw down a dunk. Like, that's going to be our love the play of the night, presented by AZ Lottery. It's time to love the play and gift today if you are 21 and over. Espo, the greatest dunk I've ever seen in my entire life. The single greatest dunk that has ever happened in the history of the sport of basketball. Colin Gillespie no-look lob to Ryan Dunn, jumps up with one hand and slams it down. Jordan Goodwin is amazed. Oso Igodaro is speechless. And the crowd at the Morg went wild.
Erik never speechless. If you didn't watch the watch along, he said it was one of the greatest dunks he's ever seen.
It's true.
It was
actually, I was speechless for 15 seconds after it
was
happened.
An unbelievable dunk. Cocked it back, had to reach back to get it and throw it down. But I think the underrated and probably best part of that whole play is Colin Gillespie bringing it down. Dunn's flying down the side, and Gillespie kind of catches him out of the corner of the eye as Dunn kind of gives a slight point up. And it was a beautiful alley, and Dunn finishes with the oop. It was picture perfect in that way, and an unbelievable dunk. We have not seen that kind of synergy and athleticism for a while here.
Yeah, this team could be like Lob City 2.0. Obviously, we had the Grayson Allen lob to Mark Williams that actually connected. It feels like Mark Williams was open for a couple more lobs today. Yeah. That's just been the story of Mark Williams basically on this team. But Ryan Dunn, 25 minutes tonight, 10 points, 5 rebounds. Hey, want to guess how many of Ryan Dunn's rebounds were offensive? 5 total rebounds tonight.
4.
5.
All 5 of them?
All 5 of Ryan Dunn's
Felt
rebounds.
Like it.
Were offensive. He also had 3 assists and 2 stocks, 1 steal, and 1 block. He hit a 3, was 1 of 3 from deep. was 3 of 3 from the free throw line, which was also big in his first game off of the bench. He seemed ready to go in whatever role that he needed to be in. Really, really impressed from what I'm seeing from him on the defensive end. You're good for one ridiculous chase down block a night from Ryan Dunn.
Yeah. I think you can certainly say Suns up when Ryan Dunn's on the break, either defensively or offensively. You might see some high flying action from him. So I appreciate the kid, and he could have hung his head because he wasn't in the starting lineup like he had been all year. But no, he went out there still with that energy, still crashing the boards, still running the floor in the way that he has shown a propensity to, and is what has made him, a special young guy on the roster there. Great game from him. You brought up Mark Williams on the dunk real quick, and we didn't really touch on it. We're talking about Jalen Green, but is Mark Williams the guy that's going to benefit the most from Jalen Green being?
He might, if he catches the ball.
Yeah, I mean tonight was a little rough in that, especially in the first half. But once they get that rhythm, I think Mark might be the biggest beneficiary of it.
Sure. I think what's awesome is I think you can just have a long list, and it might be game dependent. Tonight,
Probably.
Mark Williams went up against, by my money, the most underrated player in the NBA in Zubats. He is incredible. He is bigger than Mark, which is very rare. There's going to be some tough center matchups for Mark, but on a night where maybe they're going up against somebody that's smaller or weaker at the center position, that might be the night that Mark benefits. Or if they go up against somebody who's like a little weaker on the perimeter, Grayson Allen and Devin Booker can benefit. I think it's going to, kind of like the starting lineup, be tailored to what the game plan is and who plays, who they're playing against. I think Mark Williams, the one thing he's shown is that he is ready to play whenever his number is called. Ryan Dunn is ready to play whenever his number is called. So why don't we call on our numbers? Presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. Of course, the only number that matters, 115 to 102. The Phoenix Suns beat the Los Angeles Clippers to move to 1-1 in the season. Series, Espo, the rest of the numbers are looking pretty damn good too.
Yeah, I mean, Suns shot 44.6%. It was actually pretty close in terms of percentage. The Clippers shot 44.3%, but you look at the shot attempts tonight. 92 for the Suns, 79 for the Clippers. That's how you get such a big win on a similar shooting percentage. And then when you look at it, 49 of the Suns' 92 shots tonight were from long range. They hit 19 of them. They shot 38% from deep. Clippers only shot 23% on 31 attempts. Free throws were about even in terms of percentage. Clippers got to the line more. They definitely had the Roofs on their side.
Dude, what was that Mark Williams no call?
Yeah, he basically got tackled. It was pretty sad. Rebounds, 44-41 in favor of the Suns, and assists. Of the 41 buckets made, 27 of them came on assists for the Suns. And a tip of the hat to the Freckled Mamba for having Jalen Green celebrating on one side of this graphic with a dejected Bradley Beal on the other side.
I might have to put this graphic out on social media right now with just the caption "belt to ass," because that's what it was tonight. It was. Look, first half, the Suns were down 3. It just felt like they couldn't get out of their own way.
And they couldn't. They had 11 first half turnovers.
Sure. Ended with 15. So with the Suns, what we have seen now is a pattern. I know that we're still early in the season, 9 games in, but that's about a 10th of the season, right? So if you're sitting back and you're looking at what are some patterns that we can recognize with this team, one thing is they come out in second halves ready to kick some ass.
Yeah,
whether they're down 3, whether they're down 3 or whether they're up. It's the same thing coming out of timeouts, right? They made that huge run against the Clippers at the beginning of the third quarter. Timeout, Tyronn Lue. He said, where can I put on my special glasses to find out what's the right play that I can call? Oh, wait, sorry, that's the poker games I'm playing. Right? He comes out of the timeout, and the Suns could be like, okay, we're up 20. Allegedly.
So you don't get
allegedly.
sued.
Thank you. Allegedly. Suns come out of that timeout, and they're just foot down on the gas. They don't stop. They just keep going. It's so nice to know that this team is not only going to be prepared, Espo, but they are ready to fight. Not just literally and physically ready to fight, but if they're down, if they're up, whatever the moment is, they're not going to just show up lackadaisical.
No, and that's a testament to Jordan Ott. That is him having this team ready to play, him being capable to adjust on the fly, which there were questions about whether the coaching staff over the last few years was capable of doing that. And then he has these guys believing in what he's preaching as well, which is a huge part of the entire equation. Jordan Knott hasn't prepared. They're going out and enacting this plan almost to perfection, especially come the start of third quarters. That's a huge thing for this team and a huge consistency.
I don't say this often, but one hell of a comment from Killer X. The Ottoman Empire has arrived.
I like it.
Now, when Malwatch plays, the Ottoman Empire.
Why do you got to ruin a good thing?
Because it's Killer Rex. He ruins so much.
Killer Rex is going to just punch you in the kidney.
I'd like to see Killer Rex
destroying it.
Personally,
I meant metaphorically.
I'd like to see you try Killer Rex.
I meant it metaphorically.
By the way, Killer Rex, I'm not a fan of AI-generated images, but your profile picture is really funny. I will say your profile picture is really funny. Let's talk about a couple of other guys here tonight, Espo, before we hit our final break.
Can I talk about one other
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I know. It is my show. I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
I'm kidding. No, Jesse Mermies. I talked about it on the watch-along, and the chats talked about it a little bit. The man is stealing
your swag.
I am the home of fun glasses here. I actually need to reach out to the Suns and see if Jesse Mermies and I could have a throwdown on glasses.
That'd be great.
A discussion on eyewear. I think that is an important topic we need to go to. But fans know who the real one is. As Erik Rodriguez says, Espo is the OG when it comes to this.
The OG with
and
the
you're
glasses.
damn right. So
I mean, you, Mermies, and Kenny Atkinson all in a room at the same time. A nightmare blunt rotation. Let's talk about some other guys.
I bogared the hell out of that shit.
Let's talk about some other guys tonight. Espo. Royce O'Neal, the only guy in the starting lineup we haven't mentioned. Hey, how about 17 points in 28 minutes for him tonight? 4 rebounds, 2 assists. 6 of 11 from deep, 5 of 10 from 3. We're kind of waiting, or maybe I'm speaking for myself. I'm just kind of waiting for the shoe to drop because he's always had the downfalls, but Royce has been a steady hand on offense. His shooting has been great, and I think defensively, after struggling in what I thought was a pretty rough back-to-back for him at the beginning of the season, I think he's been solid.
I was concerned that this was going to be the game because it felt like early on it might have, and it wasn't. He found his rhythm. He came out. He had that swagger from deep. I was very impressed with what Royce was able to do. And if Royce and Grayson wind up being the guys that wind up going back to the bench, that bench is going to be something special too when you got
especially because they've been in a rhythm
on as well. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that this team can do, and I'm really excited to see what they continue to do. By the way, Charles, no, these nails have been painted all day. My 9-year-old painted them in honor of Jalen Green's debut. So, yes, I have had the black painted nails all day that I've been rocking. So,
Charles also asked if I was AI. Yes.
We've really screwed up the coding.
Yes. They can't control me anymore. We will get to your super chats. Plus, we've had such a positive show, Espo. And I think it's been deserved, but there is a conversation that needs to be had.
Okay, I'm sorry. I forgot the deodorant today.
Okay, 2 conversations that need to be had.
Fine.
And we'll have them after our final break. There's a lot of things that I love about Bet365. One thing that I haven't mentioned so far that I've noticed this season, how they've continued to up their game, is now when you go to place bets, I like doing the same game parlay on NBA games, they list the last 5 games and what the player has recorded from stats. So you want to bet on book points, you know how many points he scored over the last 5. Assists, rebounds. If you're maybe looking at another team that you're not too familiar with, but you got a hunch, you know what the trend has been like the last 5 games. Just another reason why Bet365 is pioneering live betting in-game and, of course, pre-game as well. And right now, for new customers, you can get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use code PHNX365, deposit 10, place a bet for $5, and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. At Bet365, must be 21 plus, physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT-STEP to 52342, or visit problemgambling.az.gov.
Desert Financial Credit Union. If you're an Arizona sports fan, there's no better place to do your banking than Desert Financial Credit Union. It's the only place you can show your team spirit every time you make a purchase, with exclusive debit cards branded for your favorite teams, including the Cardinals, Sun Devils, and NAU, them Lumberjacks. That's right. Erik's family's been banking with them before any of those teams were in existence. For, I believe it's 86 years now. It says 84 still here, but we were reading it for 2 years. And they've been dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that make lives like yours better. The Desert Financial team are financial experts who are committed to their members, offering financial solutions tailored to helping real people achieve their financial goals. You looking to start a business? You looking to buy that first home? They'll help you out. And when you open a free checking account online, you can get 200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200. I'm gonna take the wheel for a second.
Go
Is that
ahead.
all right? Suns are now 4-1 at the Morg.
There you go.
And I want to start a tradition for every home game when a team is defeated at the Morg. Ayrton, do we have this? Can we open that drawer? It's time to slam that Morg drawer shut on the Clippers, because that tag's been put on their toe. They've been pronounced dead. It's another win at the Morg. Put them on ice.
4-1 at home, and only one of those games being with Jalen Green. By the way, another record breaker. Jalen Green now owns the best winning percentage in Suns history for an individual player after tonight, just so we're all on the same page.
Stop the count.
Stop the count. Let's talk about Oso Igodaro. 12 minutes tonight, 0 points, 3 rebounds, an assist, and a steal, taking 1 field goal and missing it, 4 personal fouls. Espo, I have personally seen enough of Oso Igodaro. I would be okay if I did not just see a reduced role, but he was out of the rotation. He's got a lot that he needs to work on with his game.
I appreciate the kid's enthusiasm is mine for basketball, but right now he can only be called Oso Igodaro, because
That's tough.
I think I am about done.
Oso
with it as
Igodaro?
well. You can't one up.
I'm not one-upping. I'm just adding.
You can't one up perfection. That's what I'm trying to say. Look, I think he could benefit from not playing for a little while, reassessing things, working on his game, figuring out where he's going to fit best. But the problem is, if you don't feel like Kaman Malawach is ready to play those minutes, where are you going to turn? Nick Richards can play some more. Maybe you can stretch Mark Williams a little bit further, but it feels like you need that third big man. And if you're not prepared to go to Kaman, I don't know where you go. And that's a flaw right now. And that's part of understanding that you might have to expedite that timeline a little bit for Kaman along the way.
Aiden says, more importantly, the Suns can benefit from Oso not playing. I think that's kind of the main thing here is, do you turn to Nick Richards? I mean, Nick Richards, I think, just walks into more points than Oso and walks into a little bit more just not effort, but a little bit more impact just by being big and being able to dunk it and do something around the rim, right? Even the other stuff with Oso, the passing, the perimeter defense, the decision-making, it's just, it hasn't been there. I was thinking about this in the game because we're talking about a regression for Oso Igodaro, which, clearly from what he was doing last season, even just eye test wise, which wasn't amazing statistically, but when you watch the game, you're like, this kid pops. To this year, it's different. And you think to yourself, why?
Well, a lot more pressure on him.
Well, a lot more pressure. But I mean, there was a point where he was starting games last year, right? Because of injuries. I think I figured it out. Who would be the picture perfect power forward to play alongside Oso Igodaro?
Why do I feel like you're pulling me down a path I don't?
It's Kevin Durant. I'm being dead ass serious. I'm being dead serious. It's Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant can protect the rim. Kevin Durant is tall. He can shoot the ball. He covers up so many offensive liabilities. Like, the perfect player to play alongside Oso Igodaro is Kevin Durant. Now Oso Iguodaro's playing alongside Nick Richards, or Oso Igodaro is playing alongside Royce O'Neal or Ryan Dunn. I like Royce O'Neal and Ryan Dunn. Nick Richards and Oso lineup, I'm good with that. Don't need to see that extra. It's just not the same. Now, when you draft Kaman Malawach, in theory, what you expect Kaman to be is a good pairing next to Oso, but you're so far away from that. And right now, we talk about, oh, you can't play Kaman because you're going to tank his confidence. Dude, what are you doing to Oso?
Oh, I agree. I think you're at a point where you needed Oso while Mark was injured. There's no doubt about that, and you had to go that route. But now I think you probably need to start reassessing that and figuring out, okay, the way that we're going to have to move these rotations around, especially when Dillon Brooks comes back, do you take Oso out of those minutes? Do you give Dillon some extra of those and Mark some extra and Nick some extra, and you fill in all those minutes and play some combination of those guys guarding bigger guys? I think you are going to ruin him at some point in his confidence if you let him keep going, because you can tell he's in his head with it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? He's a smart guy. It's not like he's oblivious to the fact that he's hurting the team right now.
Yeah.
It's just not working. I was fine giving Oso a good chance and some leeway to figure it out. Starting all preseason without Mark, I thought Oso played well, right? Beginning of the season, it was like, okay, you don't love it, but let's give him a chance. It's a 9-game sample size now. He's still your first center off of the bench. Part of that is, okay, Mark Williams is still clearly on a minutes restriction. Mark Williams only played 28 minutes tonight. He's only cracked 30-plus minutes once, and that was the overtime game against the Jazz a week and a half ago. That being said, even if Mark's not going to play more minutes, at this point, I want Ryan Dunn small ball 5 over Oso Igodaro. It's just not working. And I get that this team is trying to figure things out, but you don't have, your pick this year. You are in these games. The Suns are a couple bad bounces away from being like 7-2 on this season, right? They've only had 2 really legitimate bad losses, and that was the back-to-back in the second and third game of the season.
I think you can count the Golden State game as a legitimate loss.
That's fair, but I think they did fight back in that. But so we'll go 3, right? So a couple bad bounces away from being 6-3, okay? Oso Igodaro has been a huge net negative for this team. Any negative that you have had this season, I feel like has been on display because you lose by 1 point, you lose by 2 points, you lose by 5 points. I'm not pinning it all on him, but what I'm saying is 12 minutes for Oso Igodaro and a negative 12 with 4 personal fouls, which is as many rebounds and assists that he had combined, and no points, and 1 field goal taken. Not just you're missing shots, you're not taking them. It's just unacceptable.
He's lost any confidence he has in that push shot as well. I think he has a very unique skill set that could be valuable for this team at some point. They need to lean into their player development skills and their desire to do that long term with guys, and I think that'll put him in a better place. You just right now you are hurting him and you're hurting the team by playing him significant minutes.
And look, the Kaman thing, obviously, clearly they don't think he's ready, and I'm not here to argue that. I am here to say I will tell you with full confidence that if Kaman Malawach played 12 minutes in an NBA game, he's not ending with 0 points, and he's not ending with 3 rebounds, right? I think, though, just his pure size alone, right? If Oso Igodaro had the same skill set but was as tall and as big as Kaman Malawach, we'd be having a completely different conversation right now. I would just like to see what Kaman can do, and I know I'm not going to get that, but that doesn't mean that I don't want it, and it doesn't mean I don't think that it would be better for this team.
I think you will get it
eventually
at some point.
Yeah.
I just don't think we're at that point. I think maybe later in December, maybe once the calendar year turns and he's got more time. We're not there. I think there's multiple other things that will be tried prior to just throwing him in as that, that first center off the bench or even that backup to Nick Richards. At the moment, I think it'll take a little time to get there, but I am warming to the idea of kicking the tires and seeing what he can do with what you're not getting from Oso at this point.
Another rotation note for tonight. Still no Dillon Brooks, obviously. Isaiah Livers did not play. And Nigel Hayes-Davis played 1 minute at the end. He was your victory cigar, right?
I'm pretty sure Isaiah Livers is with the G League team now anyways. So.
And that makes sense. But Ryan Dunn moves to the bench. Grayson Allen starts. Nigel Hayes-Davis out of the rotation. We'll hear from Jordan Knott on why he started Grayson in a second. But before I hear that, I wonder if maybe part of the decision-making was we need a big forward off the bench that can play. Yeah. And Ryan obviously fits that mold because it was the same thing with Nigel. I like Nigel as a person. I think Nigel can still be a good basketball player. I think there's still a good basketball player in Oso, and I like Oso as a person. But the eye test is the eye test. The stats are the stats. The results are the results. Those two guys should not be in an NBA rotation right now.
No, and we knew that the biggest concern with this roster was size at that forward position. And it still remains the case there. You're lacking it. So if there is a move to be made at some point, if you're looking at this and it's starting to go, hey, maybe this isn't a lost season like some people projected it to be. I think there's a move to be made in terms of finding somebody that can play a bigger power or bigger forward spot than
Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah, I just don't. They don't. I mean, you know what's crazy is if that rumor, which I don't believe, but if that rumor that Oso was a guy they didn't want to give up in the deal was what really held that up, you're having second thoughts. I don't believe that's the truth, but Look, I don't think it'll be Kuminga.
We'll hear from Jordan Knott here in a second when we hit overtime. So make sure you stick around for overtime. Just to set the scene for everybody, the Phoenix Suns are currently at the 9th seed in the Western Conference at 4 and 5, ahead of the Sacramento Kings, Utah Jazz, Los Angeles Clippers, Memphis Grizzlies, New Orleans Pelicans, and the stinky Dallas Mavericks. Yeah. And we're talking about a team that just got their second best player back, is still waiting for their third best player to come back, and is what? I don't even want to know what their point differential. They probably have a positive point differential. No, those two losses were tough. But they've had multiple 1 possession or 5-point or less losses that they were down 20-something. Look, this is a team that could easily make the play-in this year. I had them winning 43 games. And the way that things are shaking out right now, obviously it's early, but we're about a 10th of the way into the season. 43 is going to get you in pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely better than the Kings. They're definitely better than Utah. They're definitely better.
Walker Kessler out for the year.
Yeah, I mean.
Better than the Pelicans, better than the Grizzlies, better than the Mavericks.
Yeah, I mean, Mavs, I think, find their way eventually. See. I think the Mavs.
Nico Harrison stink is big time.
I think the Mavericks figure it out.
Giannis in the chat.
Some point, but.
Let's go, Giannis. What's up, dude? A big night off for the NBA. KD was in our pregame chat.
They're all bored right now.
We had Bismack Biyombo in our pregame chat.
Giannis, you don't tank when you don't have draft picks. Yeah. I mean, there's no point in tanking.
Giannis, come home. Come home, King.
Are you living in Greece now? I'm not aware of it. Come home. What?
I wish. Where I am going to be living is in overtime. If you are watching on TV, the party always continues over at gophnx.com. If you're on YouTube or listening on audio, don't go anywhere. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. 5-star reviews go a long, long, long way as the Phoenix Suns beat the Los Angeles Clippers 115-102 in Jalen Green's record-setting debut. I think it's time we hear from Jordan Knott. Do you agree?
Yes, I do.
We've heard two basketball schmucks talk about Jaylen Green and his impact so far
today.
Don't
talk about the freckle mamba.
I said
like
two
that.
and pointed to us, so let's just calm down. This is what a basketball genius says about Jaylen Green.
Probably everything we expected and more. I think that anytime you're out of basketball for that long, we often forget this. It was his first game of the season as well, so he hasn't played in a long time. It's not easy. It's not easy. The ups and downs of coming back from an injury, wanting to play with a new group in a new city, and then to be that in rhythm, that's unique. So, everything that we expected and definitely more.
Everything we expected and more. Plus the fact that he mentioned, some guys are just rusty in that. Jalen Green's missed a long period of time. The last time he played basketball was the second round of the playoffs, and guess what? He didn't play well. So to just walk in and do this is not just a testament to the talent and the fit and the basketball mind of Jordan Knott. It's to the work that Jalen Green put in while he was injured and to get back to this spot where he could walk in and just start cooking.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody who's familiar with hearing that it's everything you wanted and more, I've got to say I agree wholeheartedly that was what Jalen Green's performance was, and it is a testament to the work he put in to get back out on the court and the work that Jordan Knott put in to make sure he was in the right position to succeed as well.
Yeah, just a wonderful performance from Jalen Green. I will say in pregame we were caught a little bit off guard. We were like, yes, Jalen Green is starting, but Ryan Dunn is off the bench. I gave my theory earlier, but let's hear from Jordan Knott himself on why he started Grayson Allen and moved Ryan Dunn to the bench.
I think it's a little feel. I think Ryan's energy, his aggression, his combination with Colin, Oso, just off the bench. Ryan's a soldier, and anything we ask him to do, he's going to go out there and do it 110%. So it's not surprising. I really thought his energy in that third quarter was felt. And 25 minutes, 25 hard minutes, we're going to ask him to do that every single night, whether he starts or comes off the bench. You
gotta respect a man that trusts a feeling in terms of the way to play things. To trust his gut. Jordan Knott, I liked the thought that Ryan Dunn could bring some energy off the bench because you knew Jalen Green was going to bring that in that starting unit, that first unit was going to get that boost from Jalen Green's energy. And I like the thinking that Ryan Dunn could provide that on the second unit. And you know what? You brought some defensive reinforcement in with him. Again, I don't know that this is going to be the long-term answer in terms of the starting lineup, but for tonight, made a lot of sense and it paid off.
Yeah, it did pay off. And again, if Ryan Dunn, if his role is to just be this super energetic guy off the bench, I could definitely see that happening. I think you would like him to be a starter, and what he's shown proves that he can be a starter, but maybe that is the role that you find for him. Obviously, what we know is that Jalen Green had a great game, and he had that really big three where we posted the video of it. We played it as our cold open. He showed so much emotion afterwards. Coach Ott talked about that emotion and just emotion in basketball in general.
I think the spirit in basketball, we can get too technical at times or too analytical or too data-based to where the spirit and the environment and the joy of basketball is also often left behind. And you can feel it. You can feel the energy of the building you're in, whether you're on the road or at home. But when you have a united group and they're cheering for each other, plays like that stick. And that's what you're trying to create, not only in games, but you're trying to create in our practice facility. And we want that environment in our group. We want to create a culture, create an environment where these guys find the joy of basketball. It comes up during games, but we also want it in practice. That was definitely a moment tonight where you could just feel the energy being right. And when you're in that moment, how long can it last? And that's always the goal. Can you get it to last a little longer than the other team and find a way to win?
And Jalen Green talked about that emotion that he felt in that out-of-body experience.
Body-wise, I felt really good. Overall, I was really just excited to get out there. I was telling the guys and everything that I couldn't even sleep. Usually I take a pregame nap, and I couldn't even get my nap in. I was so excited. But, it was a lot of fun out there. Just got to keep stacking days.
I think to marry those two answers together, Espo, one of the things that made me really excited about Coach Ott was that he wasn't just an X's and O's guy, but when I talked to Kenny Atkinson at Summer League, he was like, he's so great at relating to the players. You can marry those two things together and they actually enhance each other. And with Jalen Green to probably feel that emotional connection to his teammates and to his coach, and when he gets out there and you see it all out there in actual practice, not in practice, but in practice on the court, that feeling of payoff has to be so rewarding and then drive you to continue to do the same thing and invest in the same guys and the same coach. It does get me irrationally excited about what this team can do in the future.
Yeah, of course. And you hope that those two guys are the foundation of the future alongside Devin Booker. that Jordan Knott and Jalen Green are, and understanding that basketball is more than just the data. Basketball is more than just the numbers, and that the human element plays such a huge part in it. Coaches don't always believe that. Sometimes they just believe their system is the key. Sometimes they believe the numbers and the data is the key. But no, it is a combination of all of that makes it important. And if that's how Jalen Green plays without his pregame nap, please just skip the pregame nap all the time then, because that was impressive.
Yeah. Well, look, we talk about marrying the numbers, the eye test, the emotion, the data. I can't think of any better way to segue into bringing on our guy from Morg, but he's calling in from heaven. It's Steven Prejean Gardner. Steven, what a night! What a night!
Yeah, that was a fun one for sure. I think for everything that was that win against San Antonio, today's game had, for different reasons, a very similar type of energy. Some of it was spiteful, and I'll leave that with the period because y'all know what time that was. But also it was obviously happening in tandem with Jalen Green making his debut, and he's been day-to-day for a week. Everybody's been telling me on Twitter that is it actually day-to-day if it's longer than a week? And needless to say, today was proof that the payoff was there for them, and I think everybody was beyond pleased with what Jalen had in store for his debut tonight.
When you looked at the offense and how it operated with Jalen Green in it, what stood out to you from a basketball standpoint and what Jordan Knott was trying to accomplish with it?
Honestly, start with just Jalen himself, and I think him being able to play that high energy, high activity level of minutes within the minutes total that he played really just kind of is a compliment to just the space of conditioning that he's in, because usually when you have a lower leg injury in any capacity, that's going to be a slow ramp up to getting in game shape. And I mean, it felt like he quite literally and figuratively hit the ground running. So definitely a kudos to him for being ready to take on that minutes load and then play a style of basketball that's akin to what we've all grown to expect from him. But on the X's and O's side, I think naturally you look at him being able to put Devin Booker in situations where he has a defense rotating towards him rather than him always having to be the one that sets that up for others. So I think that was beyond new and refreshing to see tonight. And then the other thing was Jalen was very intentional about how he picked his spots. He did take 11 threes, knocked down 6 of those, but it wasn't just a bunch of pull-up threes. A lot of times he got to the midi, a lot of times he got to the paint, got a paint touch, and made a quick decision off of that. And I think it's the certain type of speed that he plays with that's like a true kind of change of pace for this Suns team, where a lot of guys play at a similar speed. They have that two-door car, since I don't want to give away free ads, that's different from a
They
lot
don't
of
really
the
need
other
it.
cars. That's different from a lot of the other cars that the Suns have on their roster right now. So you could feel his punch in multiple spots, and I think more than anything, he played the right style of basketball. It wasn't just about him, but he definitely did a lot of heavy lifting himself.
There's a lot of basketball stuff that we can get into. We will, and we'll also talk about it on our 3 p.m. show tomorrow on this very channel. But one of the biggest things that stuck in my brain, Steven, is beyond what was happening on the court was the bench, right? Was the energy in the arena, was just how everybody felt happy. Jalen Green felt happy. The emotional overload. There was a clip of Booker and Green talking after the game. The guys were all getting up and getting hype. Obviously, who fits on the court together is a big part of why a team is successful, but just how important is all that other stuff into getting that result on the court?
Yeah, that's very, very important. I think it sometimes gets a little bit overlooked just because it's not always something that you can see happening on the court. It's more so just knowing what buttons to press from the sideline. But I mean, you start with what the starting lineup was today. Ryan Dunn, for the first time this season, does not start, and it's not necessarily a demotion or that they're hoping to see more from him, and that's why they're taking him out of that spot. Jordan mentioned post game that it was more so that he could use that energy and that activity as a spark off the bench for them, and kind of seeing how that kind of plays into what it is that they're trying to do in terms of playing to the game script that they want. So you could feel the difference from the kind of the fire department unit with Ryan coming in, with someone like Colin and a couple of the other guys there versus when Ryan was in the starting lineup. Now, I don't know how sustainable it is to have that unit be your starting group. Even if Dillon Brooks comes back and he takes the place of Royce O'Neal, I still think you need Ryan Dunn's point of attack defense in particular for balance with that starting unit. But you can see what it is they're building out. And I think some of the lineups we saw tonight in Jalen Green's debut is akin to a lot more of what we'll see once Dillon Brooks is back and they kind of have the full forward.
When you look at Jalen Green's shot tonight, we had heard things about his time in Houston, about his 3-point shooting or lack thereof, a career 34.3 or 34% 3-point shooter. Was there anything that you saw in the way he was shooting tonight that maybe was different, or was it just simply he was getting better looks because of more offensive talent around him?
I think it was a little bit of both of those things, to be honest. But the front part of that, I think not just him playing in space, but literally feeling the difference. He felt like it seemed like he was a kid in a candy shop at multiple moments because he was like, oh, I can just come off of the screen or I can reject the screen. And there's not a defender that's pinched in to close the space on me because that's Devin Booker one pass away. And a pass away from where the other help would be is Grayson Allen. So if you help off of those guys, there's a hefty price to pay. And if you don't, there's still a hefty price to pay. That just comes from me just kind of, doing what I do best. So you can kind of tell in his mental that he was starting to get a sense and feel for the space that he truly does have. And then that coming in tandem with everything that they do schematically to move space and create space as things happen. He was clearly very comfortable after he kind of got a feel for all the stuff that he's been watching on film in preparation for this day. And I think he just made good decisions outside of just scoring the basketball. A couple times he made quick decisions to get off it. Sometimes he got it back and got a catch and shoot instead of having to create for himself. And then other times he created catch and shoots or closeouts for other guys to attack. So I think it was just a really good game. You genuinely couldn't have asked for a better kind of debut for Jalen. Led the team in scoring, led the team in free throw attempts as well. And he just played a very clean basketball game.
Steven, I want to give you your flowers. You've been sitting in this studio all summer talking about how you think Jalen Green in Phoenix is going to work, right? Can it get better than this? Is there another level? I'm not saying every night, right, he's going to be shooting this great, but is there still another couple of steps that this team can unlock to get the most out of themselves and Jalen?
100%. I think you look at that second quarter, and you see, I think they had 4 assists on only 6 field goals made in the second quarter. Imagine what the game turns into if they get what they got in the second half and the first quarter, and there's not like that one quarter kind of lull on the offensive side. Like that's the full 48 that they have to play in terms of margin. Where if you're going up against a full or even having the Clippers seeing one of their 2 best players available, you might not be able to live through that second quarter and kind of climb back in the second half. So putting together a comprehensive 48 minutes, I think, is the big part. Specifically on offense, the defense was really good today, even in the third or even in the second quarter, when the offense just wasn't clicking for them. The defense was still holding it down, and it really kept them in kind of striking distance, if you will, for them to go on that run that they did in the third quarter. So that's the fun part about it with this Suns team is that they're figuring things out on the fly, even with fragments of the roster, to suggest that you can see ways in which they can put it all together once they're fully healthy.
You're missing an all-time great game from BComC, clearly, just so you know, Steven. You'll have to go back and watch the tape. But I wanted, in terms of guys that are going to have to adjust with these new rotations, do you feel Colin is the guy that's going to have to really kind of find his way offensively? He did all the little things today, struggled a little bit with his shot. Is he somebody that's going to have to adjust the most out there?
I think that's a good question. I don't know if he'll have to adjust as much as maybe Grayson will have to adjust because I feel like me and Erik talked about it a little bit over the course of the early part of the season. And then Espo, we spoke about it with you as well. With Grayson initiating a lot, I feel like a lot of it was just because because Jalen wasn't around. And now that he is around, I think it might look similar, but percentage of usage wise, Grayson might be spending more time off the ball because if you have Devin and you have Jaylen, it kind of puts him back into his natural role. So I feel like Colin will have to adjust a solid bit too, but I think it might be a little bit more adjusting on Grayson's side. But I do think minutes-wise, it might be an adjustment for Colin because he might not be playing as high a volume as he was prior to Jaylen being healthy. So I think what you're bringing up is a good point, but I have a question for both of you guys as well.
Oh, turn the tables on us.
Do y'all think the starting lineup stays what it is as far as Ryan coming in as one of the 6 men?
I think we talked about it earlier. Both of us agree it might be a situational decision. Like this upcoming weekend when they play the Clippers again, if Harden and Kawhi are back, that might be a game where you need Dunn back there starting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's a size. It's going to be a matter of size sometimes that you just can't give up that much size by playing Booker, Jaylen, and Grayson alongside Royce. So at some point you're probably going to have to adjust it. But I do like that that Ott isn't afraid to experiment and try to figure out, is there a better way to do something in certain situations? Because some coaches get so locked in on these are my starters and don't think about what the ramifications could be if you adjusted it in a positive or a negative way. And I like that Ott hasn't been afraid to tinker with things in his rotation.
Yeah, there's definitely a clear attention to detail that they're working with as far as like player groupings and what players work best with each other and in respect to what opponent they're going up against too. So I do agree with you guys on that. I think it's going to be a situational thing, but I think it also says a lot about this team that they're kind of willing to go to those extents early on, and they're obviously having the immediate kind of result in seeing Ryan have his second best game of the season in tonight's game and being almost in charge of that spark as much as anybody in that third quarter with what he was doing as a reserve. So I think they're working with something right now, honestly.
My final question for you, Steven. You mentioned Ryan Dunn. Would you consider the lob that he caught one of the best dunks you've ever seen?
Espo.
Nope, don't look at him. I'm just asking. I'm asking you. It's just me and you, SPG.
Yeah.
One of the best dunks you've ever seen.
Well, before I answer, what qualifies it as one of the best that you've seen? Is it just because of who did it?
No, it has nothing to do with who did it. Nothing to do with who did it. I'm being dead ass serious. It was the actual execution of the dunk.
So you, the Jalen Green enthusiast.
I'm hearing that this is a no. That's what I'm hearing right now. I'm hearing a big fat no.
I'm just asking you, the Jalen Green dunk enthusiast, especially watching him catch windmills and alley-oop them. And
did I say it was the best? That's my thing. I didn't say it was the best.
If you're looking at if you're waking up and watching Jalen Green dunk compilations once a week, and then this is what you're getting at. I don't know. It was a very good dunk, and I wish you didn't ask that because now it feels like we're trying to put water on the fire that Ryan Dunn was having in the second half in general.
It's a great dunk.
It was a sensational dunk, and I think we can just leave it at that. Espo, I feel you.
Oh, you didn't even hear the worst of it on the watch along.
People just can't appreciate greatness. It's fine. Ryan Dunn snatch attack the rim.
No, we can't appreciate greatness and not compare it to something else to try to put it in.
I didn't compare it to something. I just made a blanket statement.
Mr. Hyperbole over here. I mean, there's something that's the best thing he's ever seen every night. Like, you ever see the movie Memento where the guy has...
God forbid, I love life!
The guy has no short-term memory, no long-term memory, so he's got to, like, this is
haters of joy.
He remembers nothing. He remembers
haters
nothing.
of joy.
I'm glad that
and whimsy and fun.
I'm glad you can look at the world like a toddler every day and find excitement. So
yes!
BComC clearly with the gift membership.
We're
all in trouble.
Membership to BComC clearly. Let's fucking go. Yes. This is the best moment of my life.
There we go. Mr. Hyperbole strikes again.
Oh, my God. Steven, any final thoughts on the game?
I would say for anybody that was curious about coming out to the Suns game and maybe was hesitant a little bit just until they got to see what the team has, or when Jalen Green came back, or when Dylan Brooks came back, get out to the game. The energy was ridiculous. For a Thursday night game, it was the only game in the league. So the Suns had a spotlight on them, and they came out and they showed why they're a team that should be worth people paying more attention to than they kind of maybe thought they would coming into the season, just because of the shift from all of the top end names they had last season to what they have this season. Come out to the game, and I promise you won't be disappointed by the energy and by the effort and by all of the little things that this team is doing. They're going to scrap and fight regardless of who's available and who's not. So I think that's something that anybody would feel good about investing in. So come to a game. Come see it for yourself.
I agree, Steven, and I was actually listening to you because, I can act like an adult on this program, surprisingly. One last question for you. Do I have to keep the nails now that they won? Is this a I have to do it till they lose kind of thing? Or can I stop? That's how I feel every day with you, buddy, all right?
I think it's something that could maybe replace it can replace the purple pants potentially. If the purple pants are not coming back, then maybe the black nails are kind of a little adjacent to it this season.
All right, they're staying.
Steven.
My wife says this is the new purple pants. All right, they're staying.
I really appreciate talking to you. I'm super excited to talk to you tomorrow. We got a lot of Be Calm, See Clearly super chats to get to and to read.
Many of them.
Literally so many
of them.
You can follow Steven at StevenPG3. That's Steven with a PH. He posts his own little breakdowns, stats, and everything on Twitter. Plus, he's got the full-fledged breakdowns right here on this YouTube channel, including breaking down how the Suns shut down Wemby. If you are a member, like Be Calm, See Clearly is a member, you get exclusive bits that the public does not get to see of those film breakdowns. Thanks so much for joining us from heaven, Steven.
Hold on, Steven. Greatest post-game stop by ever. You were unbelievable. Greatest. You are the greatest reporter from any arena in any city ever in the NBA.
It's true.
That's how great you were tonight.
It's true.
I appreciate y'all. Are y'all matching shoes today?
Close. We both got the books, but he's got the orange and purple check. I got the green check.
Okay.
I like those shoes.
I was gonna say that's real cute. They look like y'all kind of coordinated that.
Well, I got to stop crossing my leg now. Okay. Steven, we appreciate you. We got to get to these super chats, man. We'll talk to you in depth tomorrow.
All right. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Steven.
Are we making Ayrton read all this?
Oh, for sure.
All right. Then
I just want to say
he better clear his vocal cords.
You say I'm Mr. Hyperbole. Sean said this is the best show ever.
Well, no, that's correct.
It is true.
That's the only answer.
No, but like this specific show.
No, that's the only answer. That every new show we do is the best show that's ever happened.
I'm crying laughing at Bees gifting a super chat, and it goes to Be Calm, See Clearly. You couldn't have asked for anything better than this. Let's get to super chats here. We got a lot before we get to Be Calm, See Clearly. Lonnie with a $1.99 super chat says, if Book goes back to the Mohawk, it's a chip. We'll see. Killer Perns with a $1.99 super chat. Just a $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Killer Perns. Lonnie says with a $1.99 super chat, we are going to finish fifth, and then follows up with another $1.99 super chat. Book's bad is 24 points.
Yeah, I wish my bad day at work could be a good day for anybody else.
Your bad day at work is literally eating a shit.
No, my bad day at work is a bad day for all of you, is what it is.
Fair enough. Daniel A. with a $5 super chat says, calling it now. Boys winning 45 games and stealing the 8th seed. Write that down. I agree, Daniel. I got 43 wins on my win prediction.
I think 45 gets you higher than 8th.
Yeah, I think 45 might get you 7th, and then who knows what happens in the play-in. Definitely 6th is on the table, though, with how close this conference is going to be.
6, 7.
Lonnie with a $4.99 super chat. Kevin Johnson has 3 of the best 5 Suns dunks ever. Amari has 1, and, of course, Tom Jabers, of course, over Mark Jackson. I agree.
Amari has 2.
Yeah,
Amari. And then what was the other guy? Played for the Suns, Anthony Tolliver.
Yeah.
Those were 2 of the best ever.
Murdered Anthony Tolliver. That's the best dunk I've ever seen in my life. Lonnie with a $1.99 super chat says, Bud was worse than Beal last season. Harsh, but true.
That's like saying, who's the ugliest? I'm not going to make that judgment.
Speaking of judgments, let's enter a judgment-free zone. Ayrton, your time has come.
$5. Be calm, see clearly. So much words, it doesn't even fit on the lower third. I need somebody to ask Jalen Green about that snatch attack, clap, clap, jiggle, jiggle, boom, boom. I need Green, Booker, and Brooks in an unholy party.
Is that their new nickname for the Big Three?
Unholy
What about
party?
the unholy trinity?
The unholy party.
The unholy trinity.
You're all invited to
Ayrton,
the unholy
don't
party.
mute your mic. You're still up.
Another $5 from Becom See Clearly.
Who's also up?
I need Ryan Dunn to snatch attack in my face too, and Oso and Royce, the whole team snatch attack Suns. And I need Booker's sweaty jersey, clap, clap.
Hey, shout out BCom See Clearly for the nicest thing said about Oso Igodaro on this postgame show.
I feel like we have to go every time it's clap, clap.
Bobby with a 199 super chat says, the effort and spirit of this team, wins or losses, is a 10 out of 10.
So is BCom See Clearly's next Chad.
Thank you, Bobby.
$10, Becom See Clearly. It's because I gave him the snatch attack, clap, clap, jiggle, jiggle, boom, and I was staring, looking back at it the whole time. And QC Legs, we love you, and I miss you, sweet baby Noah. Snatch attack Suns. $2 from Becom See Clearly.
He said I'm rolling.
Should we call it the clap, clap, jiggle, jiggle, boom room?
Oh, Isaiah Livers in the clap, clap, jiggle, jiggle, boom room.
$2.
He's looking back at it.
Becom See Clearly. Probably got that snatch attack, too.
Is that the sequel or also?
Snatch
Oh, okay.
attack, too.
Finally, to round it out, Bees is my baby daddy. Snatch attack, Suns fans. I think that goes for all of us.
Can we
Lord.
get that on a shirt?
Bees is my baby daddy snatch attack.
Jiggle, jiggle, clap, clap, boom.
Any final thoughts on the game, fellas?
Well, jiggle, jiggle, snap, snap, boom, boom, clap, clap, wiggle, waggle. I mean, I think that says it all, doesn't it, tonight?
Ayrton, we force you to say that. Do you have any thoughts on what went down today?
My mind's in a blender right now. I'll be better tomorrow.
So was the defense tonight, thanks to Jalen Green.
Oh, my gosh. By the way, if you're a member for a full month, be calm. So the Gifted will give you a month. If you renew it the next month, you get a free super chat. You get a free super chat, and with how much you spend on super chats, you might as well just re-up.
Kev's chat, Becomes clearly got the clapper in the house. Clap on, clap off.
Oh
the
my
clapper.
gosh. Be calm. Just invest some of that money into being a member. Sean says, all-time day for PHNX Suns. Appreciate it. We had a Jalen Green 29-point outburst in 23 minutes, a franchise record-setting debut. Devin Booker had a great game. Grayson Allen had a great game. Royce O'Neal had a great game. Mark Williams still had a good game. Ryan Dunn had the best dunk I've ever seen and anybody will ever seen in their entire life. The Suns beat the Clippers. They booed Bradley Beal, who's just god-awful garbage.
The
trash.
greatest booing we've ever seen in the whole world.
Here's no hyperbole. Bradley Beal might be the worst basketball player in the National Basketball Association. That dude had a rough night. We will be back, like the Freckled Mamba said, at 3 p.m. tomorrow for more fun and more larfs. And yes, it's Ferk to roofs still. I could just say it. It's overtime. Fuck the refs. What are they doing? Mark Williams is literally getting punched in the face, and they're not calling a foul. But tonight, we don't care. Tonight, we celebrate. Y'all celebrated by smashing our like goal. Continue to smash that like button as well. I get out plenty, Jeff. Thank you. Hit that subscribe button as well. You can follow the show at PHNX_Suns for very fun live tweeting during the games, plus all your latest up-to-date reports on Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, everything going on with the Phoenix Suns. You'll see it there first at PHNX_Suns on Twitter and on Instagram as well. Of course, we appreciate the Freckled Mamba holding it down behind the Mac and being the voice of Be Calm, See Clearly. You can follow him at Freckled Mamba. Of course, you can follow me at ERIKRUBY. You can follow Espo at Espo and Be Calm at The Buzzer.
$5 from Becom See Clearly. This community is amazing for real. Feel it, love it, eat it. Clap, clap, jiggle, jiggle, boom, boom, snatch, attack.
Shane, can I get the clap, clap emoji before our next game, please?
Snatch attack emoji would go crazy.
Yeah. It would be crazy, that's for sure.
It would get us demonetized. Thank you all for being here. Tune in tomorrow at 3 p.m. And remember, in order to beat the Clippers, I had to dress up like a tree.
Ahoy, hoy, clap, clap. Ferk the roar.
We all silly like the mayor.